Hello everybody, my name is Jan Miltak. I'm going to talk about TLT Automation. We're a Belgian company who is founded by myself and my brother and also a mushroom grower. We're in the mushroom industry already a long time. Our parents are also mushroom growers. To go a little bit back in years, what we saw in the mushroom industry is a lot of problems about the labor cost. But what we believe is for these problems, there is not particularly one solution. Not one machine can solve the whole problem of the mushroom industry. So we divided it into 4 steps. The 4th step was let the mushrooms pick by picker, but make sure that the picker only have to pick. They don't have to cut the mushroom stems, they don't have to sort the mushrooms out, they don't have to weigh the mushrooms, they don't have to cross with empty boxes or fill boxes, only picking. So from the start of the day to the end of the day, the picker, the only thing that he should do is select the mushrooms he wants to pick and picks them effectively. Step 2 is once the picker selects the mushroom he wants to pick, bring as easy and as fast as possible the mushrooms of the picking room, the small humidity picking room, outside this room. And this brings us to step 3, use the automation outside the picking room. So use as much as possible of your solution outside the picking room because you have much more capabilities, you have much more space, you can do everything you want, you are not in the same environment where the mushrooms grow, so you can let the mushrooms grow automatically and you can continue with your automation. The last step is data analysis, and that's one step that was added last, because what we saw is you can have an optimal process of picking the mushrooms, but you also want to get a little bit closer to your pickers. You want to teach your pickers how to pick better, and you can say to them you have to pick better, you have to pick bigger or smaller, but why tell them if you can show them? If you can show them the results of the picking to the picker themselves. At the end, when they pick 10 minutes, they can immediately see their own results. Later, a little bit more about that. So, development of the automation, like I said before, we don't have really one solution, one machine to solve the whole mushroom problem. What we did is we looked at a traditional mushroom farm and we flipped it over. We believe that in a traditional mushroom farm you cannot solve the complete problem. You have to completely start over again. And this brings us to this design. It's based on the FIFO principle, which means that the compost, the fresh compost, enters the building at one side, and at the other side of the building, the mushrooms and the compost after the emptying leaves the building. So these two are never in the same environment. Why is that? Because we want to decrease the infection pressure. You can make automation all you want, but if these problems are not solved, we believe it's not a solution for the whole industry. So the second one is increase work efficiency. You can, once you flip over a whole traditional farm, make sure that you can manage your people much more effectively, much more efficiently. It's much easier in this design, and you will understand later, to manage your people. Why is that? Because you fill at one side of the building, you fill it with compost. At the other side, you pick the mushrooms. So a picker never has to be in the filling hall, never has to be in the filling room, never has to be in the hall you use for the transferring of the compost from the filling rooms to the picking room. Which means your picker is only in maybe 5% of the square foot area of your whole farm. So very easy to manage. The last one, the high price quality. If you build a farm like this, you have not any lost corners. Everything has its own purpose. There is not one dimension of the whole farm that it's not well thought. If it's 9 meters high or wide, it has its own reason. So in terms of concrete or building cost, this is the most price-effective way you should go. A little walkthrough. So starting in the filling hall. So the filling happens here. You see in the picture there are 3 white doors. These are the doors towards the filling room. In the filling room, the compost stays 2 weeks in the filling room. The ceiling grows in. once the mycelium has grown in, the compost gets transferred from the filling room to the picking room. And here in the picking room, there is equipment, there is the tilting shelves that we all know, there is the platform, so it's not a lorry, it's a platform, a walkway where the picker can move freely on. So each picker also works individually in this system. So inside the picking room you have the tilting shelves, you have the conveyor belt, you have the platform, and that's it. Then we go to the next one, the sorting hall. So the blue conveyor belts you saw earlier ends in the sorting hall. Here on the picture you see there are no robots, so that in this situation there are people who select the mushrooms out of the conveyor belt and put them in the correct punnet. The trimming of the mushrooms is already done automatically, but the sorting has to be done manually here in this picture. After the second flush or after the third flush, the compost gets out of the picking room thanks to a compost cellar. So also special to note, so we did the filling in the filling hall, transfer in the transfer hall, but after the second flush the compost doesn't come back. It goes underneath the building into a compost cellar. This is a cellar which is 3 meters high, 4 meters wide. There is a compost conveyor in it, like you know in the compost yards. You see it one like here. Underneath each picking room there is a cellar like this. At the end of the building the cellar goes up, and at the end there is a container waiting to be filled. So very simple, no much moving components. Also very efficient to fill, to transfer, and to empty. You don't lose much time in these operations. So the employer hall, like I said before, you want to minimize your management, optimize your work efficiency. This is the only hall in the whole building where you can see pickers walk across each other. So employer hall, and then we have two small technical attics in the middle of the filling room and in the middle of the picking room. So we try to do all the techniques that normally should be inside the picking room and inside the filling room are not inside the rooms anymore to improve the cookout process. These are in the technical attics. So especially the climate units are there, but also the motors who do the movement of the watering trolley, the motors who do the movement of the picking lorry to go up and down. So there are no, also important to note, there are no electrical components inside the picking room. So for cookout or cleaning, there isn't any problem. So the green arrow indicates the flow of the whole layout. So the mushrooms, they end in the sorting hall and the compost goes to the cellar. So the picking room benefits, in short, so you have the tilting shelf. Of course, the ergonomics, you can reach much closer than you have with traditional shelving. Also, a much better overview of the cultivation. You literally see what you need to pick. Step two is, or the second one, is the picking platform. What's the specific improvement or benefit of the picking platform? Well, you have the freedom of movement. And this is actually something that we thought from the beginning that wasn't that important, but if you let people 8 hours a day standing still, I can assure you, you feel it in your legs. Here in this system, the people can walk freely across the picking platform. They move slowly by their own selected velocity. Also, if there are areas who have much more yield or less yield, it's the picker who can or who cannot decide, like you want, how fast he has to go through the shelves. It's also very easy to operate. You have to note this platform has the same length as the shelves. So this also means, it just can go up or down, and that's it. The moving components that are in a platform like this are, you can count them on your hand. It's very low in maintenance, and that brings us to the last one, and it's simple technology. There is no frequency drive, no battery, no PLC in it. It's just by contactors that the whole system operates. The last one is the picking conveyor. So special about the picking conveyor, it's a stable frame. The The picking conveyor is actually fixed to the platform, so if you go up at the platform, the picking conveyor goes just up with you. It's self-cleaning, so during the picking you have you can pick the mushrooms, you put them on the conveyor belt. Once the conveyor belt runs, it cleans itself. During the picking, it's not completely clean, it stays not completely clean, but once you water the culture between the flushes, it also automatically starts. Once the conveyor belt is wet and it starts the cleaning system automatically, the conveyor belt is like brand new. These conveyor belts you see in the picture are now running for 3 years and they are like new. Also to get the same, it's very simple technology, low moving components, all the bearings you use are stainless steel. So everything we produce is really with the idea the grower should not be worried about the maintenance and the service cost. This is, we want to do the best we can. So, like I said before, you have the manual sorting. Benefits of the manual sorting at the end of the conveyor belt is it's very simple. You have a low entry cost. You have already an automatic discharge of the mushroom stamps. There is an auger in the building who screws out the mushroom stamps. And it's also, I think that's a very important one, it's also future-proof. What you see here on the picture, you see these are conveyor belts, and they don't have feet on the ground. So everything floods for the cleaning, to optimize the cleaning process. It's mounted on a building. And what's special about it is if you decide, for example, after 5 years, I want to upgrade to the sorting units, for example, which is rated, you can just take it off. You see you have the pylons. These pylons, if you take them away, you can put our robots in the middle between 2 conveyor belts, and that's it. So you have a very low cost of changing. And I think this brings us to the most important part, the automatic sorting. So the sorting is done here by a robot system. The robot system analyzes each mushroom individually and places them in the punnet that he should be. So benefits, in short, of the automatic sorting area, you have a very low labor cost. It's only the labor of the picker you have to count on. You have a very simple overview of the picking performance. And you have the same picking conveyor as manual sorting, so you can do a retrofit. This machine is not designed to just drop the mushrooms in a box and that's it. No, this machine is really designed to have the optimal quality that you can. It has a better presentation of the mushroom in the punnet than that a normal picker on average do. It selects the mushroom that fits the best in each punnet. And by doing that, you also have a benefit in the giveaway process. Because you know, this punnet weighs 240 grams, it needs another 15 grams to finish this punnet. You take one who fits the best. You have the robot chooses how he fills the punnets, not in the other direction. And I think also a very important one is each picker works independently. So you have a lot of systems where 2 people have to work together, but it's always the weakest one of the 2 who makes the efficiency. If you can make sure that each picker works independently, then you can not only have a better yield and a better efficiency, but you also know from each picker what did you do, how much mushroom did you pick. Later more about that. Sorting unit in mechanics, in short, so it's designed to sort mushrooms between 50 and 105 millimeters. It's up to 70 picks per minute. It's always, and sure with the new program, it's always faster than a picker, than a picker can pick the mushrooms. So it's one picker in the room, one conveyor belt, and one robot at the end who puts them in the punnets. Quality check, it checks the size, the roundness, and the wideness of each mushroom. You can sort up to 12 sortings at the same time. So the machine works with different types of recipes. You can select the recipe you want, what's your what type of pellets you need. Do you need a lot of 500 grams? Do you need a lot of 250 grams?